Hi, Andria Kirkland.
Hey guys, I'm Brianna.
And we're going to be talking to you about chapters 5 and 6 in interpersonal connections in the digital age.
So we're going to go over the introduction. So this chapter really focuses on personal identity within the social media. People tend to shape and change a true identity with a different self-representation of themselves. And some in which may be a false identity, although this is not the case with everyone. Some may feel it needs to be more truthful than others as well.
The level of honesty can change with the interface, as Brie mentioned. Some may feel the need to be more honest on a platform such as Facebook, where you're connected to family and friends who know you outside of the online forum. So you tend to be more liberal and tend to behave as someone would know you outside of the social network. On places like Pinterest or Twitter, where you have a little bit more of an anonymity and interaction with strangers, whether that interaction is created through conversational like hashtags, you may tend to be more open or expressive or try to mold to different personalities. So yes, honesty is definitely something that plays a role in the development of relationships online. And in addition to that, we're going to be discussing how these relationships are formed and maintained with today's generation and social media.
All right.
Now we're going to overview the research article that was posted online for you guys. A research article that was referenced in the online posted article, known as Privacy Online Publicity, notes that teens have a tendency to share private information, both security related and personally related. So teens are more apt to share photos and private, intimate details about their life, personality, and thoughts.
Right. And we live in an unfiltered world that is unprotected information and is shared with large numbers. This typically focuses on teenagers that have 300 Facebook friends and 79 Twitter followers. For us, these numbers are funny business in regards to our following accounts, you know what I'm saying? But researchers have found that teens appreciate a larger pool of connections that are less intimate over real-life friendships. So.
Now we're going to talk about the maintenance of these relationships. In connection to the topic last week about addictions, this generation tends to have a high usage of online sites and social media accounts. So we're always connected to our accounts.
Oh, yeah, I know I am. People nowadays tend to favor likes and retweets over conversations. Technology makes it seem so easy to stay connected to our audience online. As mentioned in the book earlier, the size, portability, and discreteness of mobile phone technologies allows for constant interactivity.
UCLA professor Patricia Greenfield, featured in the article, says that the whole concept of intimacy is built on self-disclosure. And today, now teens are creating bonds that are not very intimate because they're sharing that self-disclosure with thousands at a time. Further case study research reveals that teens feel more connected emotionally with people that they video chat with. The second best form of communication would be phone calls, and then thirdly, text, as far as building emotional bonds. So teens nowadays want to feel like they're communicating face to face, but have the convenience of being in different locations, which you can't really have it both ways.
This provides advantages to sites like Facebook that now allow video calls through Messenger. They also explain why followers feel more connected if they tend to tweet and reply to each other synchronously as the conversation was happening in person.
So these are some ways that online connections, as far as social media goes, are made and maintained. Gotta keep up with your followers, guys. Brianna has a professional Twitter account to brand herself as the DJ Honeybee. Let's see if her online social media account matches her persona outside of online activities. Hi, now that you've scroll down Honeybee's Twitter page, we brought in a mutual friend to vouch for whether or not her social media site is an accurate depiction of her on her real life persona. Yeah. So, James, what kind of things do you notice that Bree tweets about?
Well, I noticed on Brianna's Twitter, you know, you have KCOU radio show, you have Todd Housing Apartment Living, which are these apartments that are now being built on Mizzou's campus. They're going to be brand new next year, and that's currently where Brianna Monaghan happens to work. And
yeah, I do.
She really promotes her brand and her craft, which is, like I said, her radio show in KCOU, and it is a very good depiction of her everyday personality and everyday life.
Okay, so if you were a random person just scrolling down my timeline, you feel like, do you feel like you would be able to connect with me personally? And do you feel like that's a truthful image? I'm not a catfish.
You're definitely not a catfish. This is the real DJ Honeybee, and that is her official Twitter at D on the mic on Twitter. Make sure everybody follow.
So, what is the future for social media, and as far as friendships and building connections? What are some of the implications? Well, one good thing is that technology has developed so that social networking does allow for us to build connections and friendships and meet others outside of our surrounding areas. So that's a positive. The negative side of that is that social networking takes away from the face-to-face or personal interactions. We tend to now work online as far as developing relationships rather than actually building them in our day-to-day lives in the real world.
And unfortunately, younger generations are less likely to interact with outside activities, be a part of different sports and events that they can be a part of within their school and things like that, and just be heavily involved with social media and other online activities.
Because instead of being out in the actual community, now their communities are Twitter or Facebook or Pinterest or whatever social network community they're involved with. That's how they make friends nowadays. So, well, again, it's great that they're diversifying themselves and meeting other people. Meeting people online can also hinder somebody from developmentally being able to communicate with somebody face to face. It cuts down on social cues and the ability to interpret and send messages in person. So, time to get writing, guys. Here's your discussion post. Analyze your own social media profiles and explain whether or not you believe it is an accurate representation of yourself. How does the platform interface affect authenticity? Do you feel like you know your social media friends or followers? What do they share online that gives you insight into their lives? Have you developed a friendship? What elements of a stranger's profile do you analyze in order to determine whether they might make a good friend or follower? What elements attract